A raging inferno, the Palisades Fire ignites. The fire erupted with a vengeance. It was a scene of utter chaos and destruction. Flames devoured acres of pristine California wilderness. A thick, choking smoke blotted out the sun. The air crackled with heat. The Palisades Fire of 2025 was upon us. This inferno, fueled by drought-stricken vegetation and driven by relentless Santa Ana winds, quickly grew into a monstrous force of nature. It spread with terrifying speed, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Homes were reduced to smoldering rubble. Families were torn apart, forced to flee with only the clothes on their backs. The firestorm raged for days, defying the valiant efforts of firefighters who risked their lives to contain it. It became a relentless enemy, an unyielding force that seemed determined to consume everything in its path. The Palisades Fire would forever be etched in the annals of California history as one of its most destructive wildfires. Days of destruction, a timeline of the blaze. Day 1, January 10th, 2025. The fire ignites near Topanga State Park, fueled by strong winds and dry conditions. It quickly spreads, charring hundreds of acres within hours. Mandatory evacuations are ordered for nearby communities. Residents watch in horror as flames approach their homes. Day 2, January 11th, 2025. The fire explodes in size, now encompassing over 1,000 acres. Firefighters battle the blaze on multiple fronts, but their efforts are hampered by steep terrain and shifting winds. The fire jumps Highway 1, threatening communities further west. Day 3, January 12th, 2025. The fire rages on, fueled by a dense chaparral and driven by the relentless Santa Anas. Firefighters from across the state pour into the region, bringing much-needed resources. Air tankers drop thousands of gallons of retardant in a desperate attempt to slow the fire's advance. Day 4, January 13th, 2025. A glimmer of hope emerges as winds die down, giving firefighters a fighting chance. Containment lines are established, and the fire's spread begins to slow. However, the threat is far from over. Homes in ashes, the fire's toll on the community. The aftermath of the Palisades Fire was a scene of utter devastation. Over 1,200 acres lay blackened and scarred. Homes, once filled with life and laughter, were reduced to piles of ash and rubble. The fire had left an indelible mark on the landscape and on the hearts of those who called it home. For many residents, the loss was immeasurable. Families had lost generations of belongings. Irreplaceable memories turned to dust. The community struggled to come to terms with the scale of the disaster. Stories of loss and heartbreak emerged from the ashes. A young couple, newly married, watched in despair as their dream home, built with their own hands, was consumed by the flames. An elderly woman, her home filled with a lifetime of memories, was forced to flee with only her most prized possessions. The fire had not only destroyed homes and property, it had shattered lives and left deep emotional scars. The road to recovery would be long and arduous, but the community, united in grief and determined to rebuild, refused to be defeated. Battling the beast firefighters on the front lines. From the moment the first flames erupted, firefighters had been on the front lines, battling the inferno with courage and determination. They worked tirelessly, day and night, risking their lives to protect homes and save lives. The Palisades Fire tested their skills and resolve like never before.
These brave men and women faced unimaginable challenges. The fire's intensity, fueled by drought-stricken vegetation and driven by erratic winds, made it a formidable adversary. Steep terrain and limited access hampered our efforts. Yet we persevered, driven by a sense of duty and a deep commitment to protecting our communities.
The physical and mental toll on these firefighters was immense. They worked long hours in extreme heat and danger, often with little rest. The risk of injury or worse was ever present, but they never faltered. Their bravery and inspiration to all. Section 5, Nature's Scars, the Environmental Aftermath. The Palisades Fire left more than just physical scars on the landscape.
It also inflicted a heavy toll on the environment, leaving a trail of ecological damage in its wake. The fire had consumed acres of pristine wilderness, destroying habitats and threatening wildlife.
The immediate impact was devastating. Countless animals perished in the flames, unable to escape the inferno's wrath. Those that survived faced a perilous future, their homes destroyed, their food sources scarce. The long-term consequences were equally alarming.
The fire had disrupted the delicate balance of the ecosystem.
The loss of vegetation increased the risk of mudslides and erosion, threatening water quality and downstream communities.
The release of greenhouse gases from the burning trees contributed to climate change, further exacerbating the conditions that led to the fire in the first place.
Section 6. Voices from the firestorm, evacuees and firefighters speak. The Palisades Fire was more than just a news story, it was a life-altering event for those who lived through it. Their stories, filled with fear, loss and resilience, paint a poignant picture of the human cost of this disaster.
"We lost everything," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Our home, our memories, all gone." She and her family had fled with only the clothes on their backs, watching in horror as flames engulfed their neighborhood.
A firefighter, his face grimed with soot, spoke of the relentless battle against the blaze. "We were out there for days, working around the clock," he said. "The heat was intense, the flames were towering over us, but we never gave up." His words reflected the courage and dedication of all those who fought the fire.
These personal accounts humanize the tragedy, reminding us that behind the statistics and news reports are real people whose lives have been forever changed. Section 7. Preventing the next inferno. Lessons learned. The Palisades Fire served as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of wildfires in California. It highlighted the need for proactive measures to mitigate fire risk and protect communities from future disasters.
One key lesson learned was the importance of vegetation management. The fire's intensity and rapid spread were exacerbated by an overabundance of dry brush and trees. Regular controlled burns and strategic thinning of vegetation can help reduce fuel loads and create more defensible spaces.
Another crucial factor was community preparedness. Residents need to be aware of fire risks in their area and have evacuation plans in place. Harden homes against embers, clear defensible spaces around structures, and stay informed about fire weather conditions. Section 8. Rising from the ashes, community resilience and recovery. In the wake of the devastating Palisades Fire, the affected communities faced the daunting task of rebuilding their lives and their homes. The road to recovery would be long and arduous, but amidst the ashes, the indomitable spirit of resilience began to emerge.
Neighbors helped neighbors, offering support, comfort, and a helping hand. Volunteers flocked to the area, providing food, shelter, and other essential services to those in need. Donations poured in from across the state and beyond, a testament to the compassion and generosity of the human spirit.
The rebuilding process was slow and challenging, but with each passing day, signs of progress emerged. From the rubble, new homes began to rise. Businesses reopened their doors. Life, slowly but surely, began to return to a semblance of normalcy. Section 9. A call to action supporting the Palisades rebuild. The Palisades Fire may have faded from the headlines, but for those whose lives were forever changed by this tragedy, the journey continues. The road to recovery is long, but with the support of compassionate individuals and organizations, they can rebuild their lives and their communities. There are many ways to help. Donate to reputable organizations providing financial assistance, housing, and other essential services to fire victims. Volunteer your time and skills to help with rebuilding efforts. Spread awareness about fire prevention and preparedness. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, can make a difference in the lives of those affected by this disaster. Let us show the Palisades community that they are not alone, that we stand with them in their time of need, and that together we can help them rise from the ashes and build a brighter future.